Hey, what's going on, guys? This is AndrewChicken and welcome back to another video. Octavia is the newest champion in Paladins, with a fun and interesting kit that is really strong when used correctly. Octavia brings a lot to the table with her unique passives that can benefit the team in different ways, but she's also a powerhouse by herself with her powerful rifle and mobility. That's why in today's video I'll be going over my tips, tricks, and loadouts to help you improve at Octavia in Paladins. Now, I know that I made a prank guide on Octavia a month ago where I used footage of Warframe's Octavia instead of the Octavia in Paladins, but that's not what this guide will be. This guide will go over the basics of her kit, tips on how to use her different abilities, and the best loadouts to use for each of her talents. For real this time. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so before we get into her loadouts, let's go ahead and take a look at her base kit to see what we're working with here with this brand new damage champion. So, her primary fire is her rifle, which basically has, it has 12 shots, and you can basically fire it really fast, and it does some decent damage. So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, semi-automatic. It's kind of like Leon's rifle, but it fires a little bit faster, and it does a little bit less damage per shot. But then when you scope in, you get the big damage. Of course, scoping in does come with the cost of it not being as fast, so you have to be a little bit more precise with your shots, but yeah, it does significantly more damage. This is about as fast as you can fire it though, so yeah, do keep that in mind. Slower fire rate, bigger punch. Like if you get a headshot, look at the damage. Oh, that's huge. Like you can do that and then finish off with a few of these shots and you are good to go. So yeah, 12 shots, fires relatively fast. And then you scope in, and you can do big damage. And of course, this does do some pretty big damage at long range, too. I mean, we can shoot this guy. It does have some fall-off, so you do have to keep that one in mind. But yeah, still, mid-range, you'll be doing excellent work on any enemy you want to fight. So that's pretty good. Then her next ability is her jump. So she can fly super high into the air, and yeah, she can basically use that as mobility. It's very straightforward. I mean, you just go up and you go over. So yeah, and it is sort of directional, so you can you do this sort of thing and go to the right, or you could go to the left if you wanted to. And it does have a decently lengthy cooldown, but still, it's good enough mobility. It's pretty solid. It's better than some champions like Tyra, who, they don't really have mobility, so that can be a bit of a problem. But yeah, there's that. And then her next ability is her distortion field. Now, I already have my my talent equipped in the shooting range. As you can see, I have the distortion field talent, asymmetric warfare, or whatever it's called. So this is going to do some damage to the enemies, but basically, yeah, you can throw this out, and it is going to, it's going to create a little dome area, which will slowly damage the enemies, as you can see, because of the talent. Normally, when you're not running the talent, it's not going to damage the enemies, but yeah, big dome, and with the talent, it does damage, so that's pretty cool, and we can finish them off with one shot, just like that. So it does, it does decent enough damage. It's a way to supplement your damage while you're also shooting at people, so that is, of course, good to know. And then her last ability is her ultimate, which basically calls in this massive strike from the sky, and it's going to do loads and loads of damage and kind of just travel out in a straight direction for a little bit. So we can go ahead and demonstrate that here. Let's go ahead and call out the ult. And there it goes. So yeah, you can see there's that massive, area of denial where, you don't want to be in the path of the ultimate, and it comes down from the sky and does pretty big damage, as you can see. I mean, this is some very impressive damage. So that's kind of what her ultimate does. It lasts for a decent amount of time. Honestly, just a really solid ult. So yeah, that's Octavia's base kit. You got her gun, fires fast, fires slowly when she's scoped in, but it does more damage, and of course you also get that extra zoom, which is really nice. It's not quite a scope like Strix's or Kines's either. It's more along the lines of Victor's. So yeah, generally just really nice. Really love this weapon. It's super duper fun to use. Honestly, one of my favorite guns in the game as of right now. Of course, I don't like the unscoped being as inaccurate as it is. It could be better, but yeah, then her mobility, really nice. I love how high this jump goes, because you can really get a lot of vertical mobility out of this. I like her distortion field, especially this asymmetric warfare talent is really nice. Of course, there is the problem of, if they don't step in the dome, then they're not going to get damaged, but yeah, that's really nice. In general, just a really fantastic champion. And let's go ahead and see the ultimate one more time, so I'm going to go ahead and just farm this up again, and you can see, as we shoot them, we get some really nice ultimate charge. And look at that, that's beautiful. And we almost get another ult. Let's go ahead and, I guess, I'll shoot the ult down this way. Just so we can see how long this ult will go, see how long the range is, just to get an idea of how crazy it is. Look at how far away that's going. It goes until it impacts that wall, and as you can see, yep, it's doing massive amounts of damage. So yeah, really, really love this character. Honestly, I might play this character a crap ton, because I enjoy them. One of my favorite damage champions that Hi-Rez has released in recent times. So yeah, that about wraps up the overview of her base kit. And, so as far as loadouts are concerned, I guess the real thing you're gonna want to use, I guess if you're going her ult talent, is of course to go the ultimate card as well, because this will make it so you charge up her ult super duper fast as long as you're getting eliminations, because whenever you get an elimination, with this card equipped, you are going to be getting up to 10% ultimate charge per kill, which is insane. You get 10 kills, you get a free ult. Although, of course, it actually does charge up faster, so it's more like 8 or 9 kills, because, of course, you do also get ultimate charge for shooting people, like you can see. I'm getting about 3% ultimate charge, 2 to 3% per enemy hit. Actually, that was 4% right there. Interesting. And then you also get your passive ult charge just from existing, and you get ult charge from, like doing damage with your distortion field, which that should hopefully... Yep, there we go. Yeah, it does nice tick damage. It's really, really nice. It's kind of like once every half second, every second, or whatever. And yeah, it's just great tick damage. So there's that. If you are going this talent, by the way, I do recommend going the range card on the distortion field, so that way you can kind of get more people in your distortion field, so you can do more damage. And also, it does heal allies as well. So if you get them, in your distortion field, you can heal them as well. And it's just a bigger field. That's nice. And also cooldown reset, because there is a card which will reset the cooldown of your distortion field, or not really reset it, but lower it by up to 3 seconds when you jump, so that's helpful. Of course, can't really demonstrate that right there with that jump, because I already had it back, but yeah, pretty nice. So that's something to note. And then if you do go the jump talent, Hell or High Water, which basically makes it so that when you jump, you will land, and you will get a bunch of healing kind of in a small circle around you, and also make it so you don't consume ammo. If you go that one, I highly encourage you to go the damage reduction while flying, because, when you're flying and shooting, you don't want to take extra damage while you're being shot at, so that's just nice. And yeah, also a little bit of extra jump distance in there can really go a long way, especially on maps like Serpent Beach, for example, or Splitstone Quarry, where you've got a bunch of high up places. That can be really, really helpful. I have the jump card in my loadout at a little bit of a high level, and look, we can just barely make it up here, so that's pretty darn nice, I would say. So, yeah, those are kind of generally the cards I like to have in my loadouts when I'm playing Octavia. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure, she's only been out for about 3 days, so I'm sure that the loadouts could be slightly better, slightly more refined as we get more experience with her, but in general, that's kind of what you want to do in terms of loadouts for this character. So, yeah, as far as gameplay tips are concerned, I mean, you don't really want to snipe from too far away. Again, if you look at this character right here, I guess they were already a little bit low from my ults, but yeah, you can see we're doing significantly less damage per shot at longer ranges. Like if I back up really, really far away, like, it's taking more than 3 shots to kill that guy. So she does have some pretty big fall off. You can't exactly duel snipers at long range, but at medium range, like, again, medium range, we probably want to be, like, about right here. At this type of range, oh, she is so good. This is probably the best range for Octavia, because if you're in close quarters, scope shots are going to be really hard to hit, and your primary, like, non-scope shots are also going to be pretty hard to hit because of how inaccurate she is. So, there is that to note. Best range, medium range. If you can try and fight someone at medium range, that's the best place to be. So she kind of likes kiting her enemies, sort of similar to Leon in that fashion, actually. You don't want to be too close, you don't want to be too far. You gotta be at just the right distance, the Goldilocks range, if you will. I'm not sure if that's a term in gaming, but I think I'm going to coin it here, just in case it's not already. You heard it here first, the Goldilocks range. It's beautiful. It's right about here. So there's that. And also, yeah, jump up to, high areas. And also, yeah, you can use your jump and kind of, like, fire at them while you're jumping, which can make you really hard to hit, while also, letting you hit them, too. So, yeah, that can be a good way to kind of, like, evade some damage while also trying to kill somebody. Can be really, really helpful. And, yeah, lastly, Distortion Field. I find it generally is helpful to use it on enemies, because as it stands, I'm not sure if this is a bug or if it's actually just intended, but if you throw one of the fields, like, here, then this Koga right here would be able to, yeah, just sort of see through and still be able to see those guys behind it. But if you throw it on top of her, or on top of him, I mean, then yeah, she wouldn't be able to see those guys, because you can't see out of the field, but you can kind of see through the field. It's a little bit buggy or whatever, but yeah, that's just something to know. So basically just throw the field on the bad guys, There you go. Yay. Although if you really need to, you could use it on yourself and kind of like use it to kind of move from one area to another with kind of that unpredictability and that cover. Some enemies don't really know what they're shooting at. They're kind of just shooting blindly in the dark. But you do have to keep in mind that AoE champions like Drogos can easily just kind of smoke out your field, if you will, by just using, you know, their fire spit. So yeah, AoE kind of does counter that a little bit, but in general, yeah, if you throw it on the enemies, it's going to be really annoying for them, especially if you just throw it directly on the objective. Like, you know, you're just going to sow a bunch of chaos onto the field, and it'll be helpful for your team, because your team can see everything that's going on inside the field, but it just makes it harder on the enemies to see what's going on the point. Makes it harder for the healer to heal the tank, especially if they're not Yagharoth and they actually are moving around a little bit. Makes it harder for the DPS to shoot there. It's just generally helpful to do that. And when you're ulting, I highly advise ulting when there's a bunch of enemies in a massive point fight, because then, you know, you'll be able to get all that sweet, sweet area damage. You either have to force the enemies to run away, or they're going to get caught in your ult and they're going to take massive, massive damage, especially with the ult talent that makes it do even more damage and also root. So I think that's just, you know, generally some decent enough tips for Octavia. And okay. Man, I managed to keep that up for 10 whole minutes. Wow, that's cool. So yeah, this is a bit of a prank. I mean, a lot of the advice I gave in this video is actually pretty valid, like throwing the distortion field on enemies, and, you know, just the general tips that I've given are all sort of pretty much valid. But yeah, I couldn't help but make this video. Like the Warframe video I made a month ago, I just couldn't help myself. I mean, they are so very, very similar, as you can see. I mean, the primary fire, they even have the same amount of base ammo. They have 12 ammo. The only difference, really, is that Ashe in Overwatch is way more accurate. I love this. I love how accurate she is compared to Octavia. For example, if I were to stand a similar distance away with Octavia, I would not be able to hit my shots. I mean, I love how accurate she is. I wish Octavia were this accurate when she's not scoped in. I mean, even if they don't want to make her this accurate, they could still make her a little bit more accurate so you can actually hit your shots at close range like you're supposed to be able to do when not scoped in, that you can do with other champions like Victor or Vivian, you know? But yeah, they're so similar. I mean, fast fire rate, less damage. Slow fire rate, more damage. Very, very similar. This jump, I mean, it also does knockback, which is pretty cool. That's kind of something that separates Ashe. You kind of actually get a bit more freedom of mobility with Ashe in Overwatch 2, which I like. You know, you can throw it like more horizontally if you want to go back farther, or you could go directly vertical to go up farther. It's just nice, and it's kind of a shotgun too, so like the more palisade enemy, the better. So yeah, there's that. The distortion field, I mean, that's completely unique to Paladins. I mean, I could try and sort of compare it to Dynamite in Overwatch with the distortion field talent, but even then, completely unique abilities, so props to Hi-Res for making something original like that. I guess actually the closest thing to the Dynamite from Ashe in Overwatch would be Jorgos' Fire Spit, because like you shoot it, and then you shoot it, and then it explodes like that. But even still, they're very, very much different. I mean, Drogos' Fire Spit, if you also hit enemy directly with it, it buffs the damage that you can do to the enemy. So there is that unique mechanic too. And then, yeah, the ult is also pretty hard to compare. You could trying to make Bob's seem like an orbital strike was really tough. But I mean, there are still sort of some similarities in the sense that it comes down from the sky, and it can go a super far distance. I mean, also, is that impact marker from the previous... That impact marker's from the previous Bob, isn't it? Oh my. Bob's a chonker. But yeah, there was sort of that similarity in the sense that it can go a far way and it still does damage, but the way they do the damage is completely different. So yeah, there are some similarities, but there's also some things that are completely different with Octavia. But I still thought there were enough similarities that I could make this video just as kind of satire, I guess. But also, yeah, still some generally decent tips, I would say. I mean, I'm not the best Octavia in the world. I'm not quite level 50. I'm not insane like Creepers is, but I've still played her enough that I think I generally sort of understand how she works. So yeah, I might make a proper Octavia guide in the future, but for now you get my beautiful Warframe guide from the PTS, and you get this beautiful guide of how to play Octavia in Overwatch. So, yeah, kinda silly. But yeah, anyways, if you guys have enjoyed this very silly, quote-unquote guide, then yeah, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications in case I do make a real Octavia guide in the future, and also so you can get notified whenever I make Paladins videos and the occasional Overwatch video. So, yeah, there's that. Also, check out the Discord server linked in the description. We have a wonderful community with a bunch of active members, so go check it out. We have people who play everything from Paladins to Overwatch to TF2 to Smite to other games, and Minecraft, and I don't know. And also, lastly, check me out on Twitch. I do stream somewhat regularly. I always stream on Friday. Other than that, it's just when I feel like it. And yeah, we usually have a wonderful time on my streams. Most of the time I play Paladins, but I don't know. I might stream Overwatch. You never know. I could just wake up one day and be like, hey, I want to play Octavia, but in Overwatch, and then go stream that. So yeah, you never know. So go check me out there. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the video, pretty much. I mean, I guess, oh yeah, also I have to shout out the members too. That's kind of something I promised there. Hey, shout out to all the members of the channel. Thank you very, very much for supporting my content. If you want to support my content yourself and you're not already a member, then make sure to check out the join button right next to the subscribe button. It's very, very cheap. You get some emotes, you get a beautiful dark red roll in the Discord server, and yeah, that's it's pretty much it. It's very cheap, helps out a lot, and yeah, it helps me punch this training bot in the mouth. So, yeah, become a member today. I assure you, you won't regret it. And yeah, that's going to do it for the video. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.